occupied by mosquitoes, and I was there the year that we had John Belushi's brother as the king for 1 year.
Okay.
And then he tried to
Celebrity
sleep
king.
with everybody.
That's brilliant.
That's the only acceptable way to refer to Jim Belushi.
Those mosquitoes are the worst mosquitoes I've ever experienced in my entire life.
We did Christian miracle plays. So we had, it was all men, and we would do the cross-dressing for the women. And we had somebody in a big red bodysuit to be the devil and be like, I'm a funny devil, I got a ham.
Wait, I like him.
Our stage gradually got overwhelmed by that rear mosquito pool. It's in there somewhere.
It's still...
Jesus.
Can I make a Christmas movie recommendation for you, Malix?
What's this?
Can I make a Christmas movie recommendation?
Yes, what?
So one of my myriad obsessions is Christmas horror. And there's a Mexican Christmas horror comedy called Pastorela, which centers on a corrupt cop who always plays the funny devil in the pageant, and he gets shut out one year, and
his revenge.
Yeah, he's a corrupt cop, so then things start getting weird, but it is a great watch, and also a great thing to mention on a secret show.
You guys ruined the surprise.
That's the secret of the secret show.
So
we all just ruin the surprise.
Cubby, can someone send me a link so that I can post a link to the show that we're doing on my socials?
Sure, if you go to twitch.tv Nat21 Adventures, it'll take them right to the show.
Twitch.tv/Nat20.
I'm being a old Phoebe who's very busy doing 3 things at once. Can somebody text me those words you said with your mouths?
Oh yeah. Can I do it in the chat of this thing? Would that work?
I'm going to run to my office to post this, so it will not. But I think I'm in conversation with both Mab and Cubby.
Okay.
Well, let's start the credits and then do all of that. We just lost Shoshi. She'll probably be back. See y'all on the other side.
Oh, it's been said a bard's life can often be a hard life, or hill in jail to rove and always move from town to town. And some folk have inquired if ever we grow tired of ranging all around the world and never settling down.
But one should be a little wary of remaining stationary. Is comfortable, is lovely, but it's not the way we grow. When life starts to unravel, pick up your pack and travel. You'll find a strange serenity in places you don't know. Wriggle-dee-dum-dee-doo-da-terry-o-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before. Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road. You've got no map for showing which direction you are going.
But why start on a journey if you know where it will end?
And once you recognize,
to anticipate surprise, you'll relish every twist and turn that lies around the bend. Wriggle-dee-dum-dee-doo-da-terry-o-dee-da-dee-da-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before. Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road.
Lie, 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 lie. Lie, da, da, lie, lie, da, da, lie, da, lie. La, da, 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 da. La, da, 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 da. The world has got its demons. There are many reasons why you'd find it harder to be brave than be afraid.
But every life could use some danger. Every friend was once a stranger. Ships are safe in harbor, but that's not why ships are made.
Wriggly-dum-de-too-da-terrio-dee, da-dee, a fwit-da-dee-da-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before? Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road. Lie, da, 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 da. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Adventures waiting further down the road.
Let's go!
Lie, da, 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 da. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, lie, da, 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 da. La, da, 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 da. La, da, 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 da. Lie, da, 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 da. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, lie, da, lie, lie, da, da, lie, da, lie. La, da, 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 da,
Why, look who it is!
Crafting, crafting, crafting with Joshi and Cubby. What will we make today? What is the dice of the day? Crafting, creating, collaborating. What would an octopus say? Trivia questions, hooray! Creating, clickbaiting, can't hardly waiting for the crafting show. A crafting show with Cubby and Shoshi.
And Mab. And Malix.
What happens?
Oh,
Sorry.
hi, guys.
Does
Sorry
that
to
make
interrupt.
my picture better?
Picture
Oh.
better.
Yes, you are. For some reason, phones love to play with the orientation like that. I know.
No judgment. No judgment on your orientation or anything, but
Right.
yeah. You
The
fit
only
in.
thing is, in order to achieve this, the camera has to face away, the screen is facing away from me, so I don't know what this shot looks like. Am I centered in the shot?
No, the car is.
Okay.
So
But it
you're
works.
like, it's a good thing. Like,
It works.
it's probably better than centering because
How about this?
that's like splitting the difference between centering on the car and centering on you.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I gotta see the screen. I gotta see your beautiful faces. There's nothing I can do. And this doesn't make it better, right?
You're good. No, you were fine. And it's great. I'm getting seasick. Hello, Victoria, London fog. So lovely to see you here today. I was hoping you would make an appearance.
Oh, this works.
Yes, I can do that.
Oh, Okay, great. Why does this not work when I use it as the crafting cam?
Science?
It's got to be science.
Okay, what Alice? I saw you there too. You popped in at exactly the right time.
Yeah, as seeing as how that is a technical question, I am absolutely baffled.
Yeah, same.
Sometimes it takes a little bit for the camera to get oriented, and it looks like Shoshi did not like my answer, so screw
Yeah,
all y'all.
Shoshi was she messaged me. She said, as long as Mab is gonna keep giving that answer, I'm not gonna listen to it. So just you're warned.
So, as you can all tell, I'm in the car right now. From those of you who've been watching the show for a while, you remember way back when, at the beginning of the summer, so this whole summer I've been working at this theater called Theatricum Botanicum. They're an amazing Shakespeare theater. But back in the May, I guess, June, we do school
Or may
shows.
not.
And so I have to wake up extra early, and we do shows at 11 o'clock. But that means that in order to do the crafting show, I drive out to the location, and I find a place with some good Wi-Fi, and I park in that parking lot, and I do the show for as long as I can, and then I have to leave and go do Winter's Tale or Midsummer. We don't
I
do
gotta
part
say,
two
your
for the
commitment
kids.
to sparkle motion is impressive.
Well, I mean, it sounds impressive, but then you find out what part she's playing, so it's like, yeah, of course it's worth that sacrifice.
I'm the bear.
Oh!
Only the most famous character in all of Shakespeare. I play other parts as well, but the bear is really the only one you need to know about.
That's the big one.
Yeah.
The only
that's
one with
important one.
actual stage directions. But you know, like, let's tie this in with last night's adventure. Are you a gummy bear?
Well, when it was 107 degrees, yeah, I'd say I was pretty goomy.
That is the right answer. Hey guys, it's Alex. Look at that face.
Look at this special
Y'all
guest that we
remember him
have.
from Savage Moon and Nuked, and you ran a bunch of games.
Car Wars. Paranoia. I'm just gonna guess old games.
Car Wars? I love
Battletech.
Game. It's a great game.
was
Necromunda.
I was
GURPS.
the Battletech developer for several years. Yeah.
For realsies?
Yeah, good guess. During the Solaris 7 clan invasion years, that was me.
Wow.
You know that, Cubby?
I'm like, this dude seems cool. I bet he played every game I ever looked at and wished I could play when I was a kid.
There was a point where I took it as a flex that I could run and was familiar with every tabletop role-playing game in existence. That's no longer possible, but it was absolutely possible in the 90s.
What's your favorite sort of tabletop company?
Wow.
Current.
Company, not game. A company that won't sell our work to get quick money by programming it into AI and sidestep the human connection of GMs and the kind of director, actor, presenter relationship that makes tabletop role-playing games so vital.
So you're a big fan of Wizards?
I still work in the industry, so I'm not currently willing to throw direct shade. But yeah.
But so the opposite
Very
is
fair.
cold. Let's throw some light. Who are your let's highlight some of your favorites that are currently out there. I mean, besides Robert Turk, who runs
right. Or even past ones that don't exist anymore.
Well, currently out there, because I was very familiar in the late 80s through the 90s, and then I semi-retired to raise my kids. So there's a
Who are
period there.
awesome people, by the way.
Thank you. I'm very proud of both of them. And my youngest started working for Paulo as kind of a booth bunny.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, was selling dice and stuff. Like, the apple does not fall far. Fasa was the greatest company I ever worked for. The people were awesome.
Fasa?
Fasa, F-A-S-A, Fasa.
Fasa.
Yeah, they did Earth Dawn, Shadowrun, Battletech.
Oh, nice.
The golden apple doesn't go far from the tree.
They were.
What's your opinion on Steve Jackson games?
I'm kind of friends with Steve.
They're one of my favorite companies. Like, I love every one of their games, and I think their games are like so well designed. And I just want to know that they're good people too.
There was a time at which every game designer lived in Austin for a while, and everyone did time at Steve Jackson Games.
Oh, okay.
That's no longer true because they've gotten much smaller. But I know several people that work there now. Shout out to Jimmy, who's amazing, good people, and is a Shakespeare actor.
Great. That makes me very happy.
He works in the reproduction of the Golden Globe that we have here in Austin. He's
nice.
part of the Baron's Men. So they stage traditional Shakespeare in that reproduction of the Globe, which is amazeballs.
Nice.
I'm going to give a quick shout out to Reverend Tommy, Just Some Guy. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I think I saw Evelyn. Yes, I did. Welcome, everybody, for joining us in the crafting show. It's really good to see you. Just Some Guy. I am eagerly anticipating the package, and that's not a euphemism.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's not a euphemism. As a big dice collector, I'm really impressed with how Steve Jackson has pivoted recently. They're doing a lot of Kickstarter stuff, but they're like really keeping their name out there. And I'm like, yeah, good. Don't keep. I want them to be in business for as long as they want to be in business.
Yeah.
Steve refers to the place he lives as the house that Munchkin built.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm going to go on the record here as saying I loathe Munchkin.
It's my least favorite of their games too, honestly.
So worse than that, I actually think that it's the fact that for a long time Munchkin and Catan were gateway drugs for new gamers.
Yeah.
Just like music teachers giving new students recorders turned out to be the worst instrument they could have chosen.
That's not. As a person who respects the recorder is not the worst instrument.
So I know nothing about this. I don't play any instrument. I know music teachers, and I've read articles and watched TED Talks. And supposedly the level of frustration in that particular instrument has historically driven a lot of kids away from music.
Yeah, I know, Malik. That is an opinion that I have heard echoed from professional recorder players. That the recorder was not the best choice.
But yeah, like let's be honest, the ukulele is the superior choice, and just for reasons. It's so accessible. It's so portable. 4 strings, 4 fingers, 4 strings in the truth, and
So the what I was getting at is, I don't think giving Munchkin to new gamers helps make new gamers. Because the whole thing where, like, I could run down the math for you, but it's super boring. The way the odds work with the high-low cards in the beginning, it's frustrating because you draw low cards, you can't do anything, and then the middle of the game works right, and then the end, all your cards are high, and you breeze through everything. I at one point suggested to him a self-balancing mechanic with 2-sided cards that would allow it to, at a midpoint of the game, shift the value of the card, which would make the game run better throughout. But as usual, my buddy Steve rolled his eyes at me and walked away to go get some coffee.
I really love what is it?
Very important. comment here.
Little green things from outer space. Is that?
Oh
the
my
full
God.
title?
So good. Yes.
Love that game.
There's room for you up here, buddy.
It's Knit's Revenge. I mean, all that bad old stuff from Dragon Magazine is the best.
So good.
You guys are killing me in the chat. Just some guy. I can't. No promises. Hold on a second. Just some guy.
Yeah.
No
Hey,
promises.
just some guy. You should have thought of that before you sent a miniature of yourself to anyone on this channel, but especially Mab.
If you give us something, we're gonna put it in our mouth.
It's how we explore the world.
Mm-hmm.
We never grew out of it. Yes, I know you want to hang out with me while I'm working. Okay, buddy.
Ooh, those are pretty.
Thank you. So what I'm doing here is I'm building terrain for my game Nuked, which is post-apocalyptic. And I realized that anything that's nasty and post-apocalyptic needs graffiti. And I was particularly remembering the Chicago and New York poster walls of the 80s.
Oh.
So I designed a whole bunch of posters and I made them very small. And I am going to decoupage them to some of my trees and pieces.
That's nice. I like that.
This will either work and look amazing, or I'm going to be very disappointed to scrape them off the trees.
Oh,
no,
I think it's
work.
perfect because decoupage is so close to the wheat paste,
Right. Well, then in theory, when it dries, I can use some wash to age it and scrape a little away. Because every advertising poll in New York and Chicago in the 80s, you had half ripped off posters. Yeah, it was the look. But I think I can make that happen at 28 millimeter. So yeah, these were all.
I love that idea. That's super fun.
Thank you. And I designed all of these. They're full size. I don't know why, but these were posters from my world before it was destroyed. So they're kind of cyberpunk posters. Okay.
Nice.
Thank you.
Also, I love the phrase exit pursued by Owlbear.
Yeah. It might be the nerdiest phrase ever uttered by humans.
There's a t-shirt design there. There's a t-shirt design there somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Wait, I should have said that when Mab was here. Because Mab is the most likely to make that happen.
I noticed that y'all aren't doing this weirdo working through your iPhone magic hands nonsense. I'm still trying to get used to the coordination required to do that.
Oh, it's hard.
Some of us were born without the coordination to do that. I almost stumbled over what I was saying because I was talking and gesturing at the same time.
I heard my name. What were y'all talking about?
Mab, you need to design a t-shirt.
Okay. Oh my God, yes.
And I want one large or extra large, depending on how the sizes run. Probably large.
Okay.
Oh, I might want one for my pal Jimmy.
Okay. I might be could. So what just happened, I got to share with you guys, for who all think that Murder Beast is a cute little kitschy nickname and he's not actually murderous.
Wait. That's not an oppositional poll. You can be cute and filled with murder. Case in point, the hippopotamus.
Oh, that's true.
I think that's also everyone I date.
So he wanted love. I put him up on the table to give him love while I was working. And then he immediately dragged himself across the things that I was trying to tape and keep in place. And so now they're all mushed and spread out. And then I picked him up and he got a little swipe in and got my face. And now I've got a little bloody leaking face. Awesome.
Oh no.
That was a little gift from Murder Beast.
But he didn't mean to. It was just I picked him up, and when I went and put him over my shoulder, his little just hit my face. Oh man, it stings like a motherfucker.
Yeah, make sure to clean that because their nails
That's what this is. This is antiseptic.
Oh no, and that's gonna make it sting more.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why Mab chose it.
Yeah, I can hate it. Hello, Dr. Andy.
I assume that this is a reference that I'm not getting.
Paulo. Paulo used to host this show a long time ago.
You know, I keep hearing that name. Who is this Paulo guy?
Yeah.
And he made like gaming stuff and scenery for the back when we used to have an action cam. Oh, you haven't seen Cubby? He was here last week.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that I was gone for a month.
A whole friggin' month.
We didn't forget. We missed you terribly.
Okay, look. This is not gesturing. This is talking. It's for emphasis and punctuation purposes. This is perfectly natural. Pointing to things. Whoa, the human brain doesn't know what to do with these things.
That makes sense to me.
It reminds me of a joke. There was it was back in World War II. Late in the war, after Italy had flipped, there were 3 prisoners: an Englishman, a Frenchman, and an Italian. They took the Englishman in there. They handcuffed him to the table. They said, "Talk, or we'll beat you." And the Englishman is like, "No, I'll never talk. No, never. Talk, or we'll destroy you. I'll never talk. I never talk." They finally give up. The Frenchman, they handcuff his hands down and they threaten him with violence. They threaten him with deprivation of sleep, of food, of every turn. But the Frenchman, "I will not speak to you." Finally, they give up. And then they try for the Italian. And the Italian comes out of the interrogation, and the Germans are just as frustrated, and the Frenchmen and the Englishmen they're very impressed. You know, they're like, "Wow, so all of that pressure, all of that intimidation, and you didn't talk." And the Italian goes, "I wanted to, but they wouldn't uncuff my hand." They wouldn't uncuff my hand!
Wow, there's nothing like a World War II prisoner joke.
Yeah.
I know, isn't it? It's just, sorry, this always reminds me, I'm like third generation Italian. Anyway, when my grandfather and his brothers all came over, they joined this benefits club, the Romano Society.
Mm.
So when I die, I think my dad is still listed as the beneficiary. He gets $50 when I die.
Hell yeah.
But they used to have regular dinners, and we used to own like the best Italian restaurant in Trenton. So we would have monthly meetings there, and they'd bring out pasta. So of course you go to the meetings. I just tuned out the business portion and waited to the pasta. And we're at dinner, and this old Italian man is talking about serving in World War II.
Oh wow.
Wait a second.
Yeah, no, that's that. Oh, it was so good. And he goes, "Yeah, we were on the ship, and we were looking at, we see an American ship." And the dude my dad's age, who's sitting next to him, goes, "Oh, don't you mean a German ship?" And like, I'm just sitting there being like, "No, he does not."
It was a different time.
It was early in the war.
All right, make or break time.
It still boggles my mind that of all the countries to fall to fascism,
Yeah.
Italy? They were really like, oh yeah, we're going to be super organized.
No.
Yeah,
Although, to be fair, fascism is not that organized.
Well,
No, I know, but they try the illusion, and like Italian fascism just feels like they're not trying very hard.
Are you trolling your far left friend? Because I'm holding my tongue, man.
Oh, don't hold it all.
yeah, no, we love this conversation.
It's surprising how sneakily fascism can come out of nowhere, the most unexpected of places.
Yeah. Although it is kind of expected.
Yeah, it's mostly also very unsurprising.
Okay, so I've got my little posters. I'm going to start with 4, and I've got the area with the trees that I'm going to start postering. So I'm going to use Mod Podge because Mod Podge is the shit. You know, Bodge is the glue of choice for certain things. Mod Podge is pretty much good for everything else.
I love the Mod Podge. Love it.
You know, I tried to get on the Mod Podge train. I really fucking did. But it has betrayed me so many damn times. Clearly, I need like a Mod Podge tutorial or some shit.
So,
well, it is very, very good for the things that it does well, but it's not very flexible in using it for like other things.
And different types do different things. This stuff, by the way,
what I needed it to do.
Yeah.
I understand it is the decoupage glue. And what I was doing was decoupaging a canvas with paper. It was a hardboard canvas board. No, it was a canvas board. So and it warped and it pulled the paper up and it wrinkled and it looked like shit. I ended up throwing those boards away. I wasted some really beautiful paper and I was very disappointed.
So you and Mod Podge have history.
And that's not the first time Mod Podge disappointed me. So what did I do wrong?
Nothing. I was just showing you that the different Mod Podges have different capabilities, and that this shit I just tested, it was supposed to be for making little resin domes for jewelry, and everything online swore that it dried clear.
Yeah, that's the other problem. It's
a damn dirty lie.
Well, although one thing
Shoshi just taught me something very important about Mod Podge, but also before you say that, you look very pretty in that blue.
You do.
Oh yes, thank you. Thanks. Thank you. With it, so I just recently found this out after years of using Mod Podge. It takes up to 4 weeks to fully cure.
Oh, for sure.
So like it could take
what about
up
the wrinkling my paper thing? It's not
well,
supposed
yeah,
to
that I'm not sure. Maybe did you add water to it?
Nope. Straight
Sometimes
from the pot.
You need to.
I will show you, but I threw it away, Kara.
Yeah. Sometimes you need to add water, like thin it out a little bit. It might be a different kind of Mod Podge.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, but what if we did Mod?
Look how cloudy it was.
I'm gonna be.
Look how cloudy it got, and look at the wrinkles.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then, so I wanted to use this cute off-white swirl paper, and then the black swirls. It's the same paper in black, but look how crappy that looks. And then I tried it again.
Ooh.
And it's just so you can
Interesting.
kind of see the swirls, but it's starting to peel up.
Yeah. Interesting.
So what if we had what if we had that stuff camp?
Damn it.
We all get together in the woods
I'm mad at
by a week with a rivalry with those upper crust rich guys from across the lake.
Ooh.
You
So
think
long
they're
as there's
so
an
good
across
at
the lake
skiing.
rivalry, I'm in.
Hodgepodge.
All right. The first tree has been.
I have a list of everything you need for a successful summer camp. So rivalry, rich guys,
Yep.
Space alien,
Okay,
ghost of a
teens.
what about a Romeo and Juliet romance?
Romeo and Juliet romance.
You need some horny teens.
You need the ghost of an adult film star.
Really, that's a modern evolution, I think.
Yeah. Oh, we want it all. We want it.
Okay. No, that's fair. A crocodile.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there should be some sort of a cryptid or super large crocodile in the lake.
Yeah.
Oh, a serial killer. We are going to need a killer amongst us.
I was remembering
we don't know who.
Remembering all the 80s trope. There's so many that are problematic. Like, I could say that. Oh God, don't say that. Like,
no, ideally, somebody who was raised as the wrong gender.
I was gonna say also, like, the funny gay kid was horribly in many of those movies.
Also, the picked on fat kid.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we're gonna need to really make that fat kid hate his life. We're gonna need
we could probably do without like the racist foreign exchange student.
Yeah, we are gonna need a bunch of like crazy buff dudes in short shorts.
Well, I mean, if we could just make the whole camp uniform be short shorts, and so even the girls wear short shorts as well. And then the chubby fat kid is forced to, and so that comedy is right there. Oh my God, I feel so uncomfortable even saying this.
I can see he's it's super tight and uncomfortable, and he's like adjusting them the whole time. Well, a tuba plays. We're gonna need a tubist to follow the fat kid around.
So the movie series Wet Hot Summer did a very good job of aping all of these tropes, including
not all of them. There were no porn star ghosts.
So they missed one. Yeah, you're right.
Disgraceful
standards, man.
We used to be a country, damn it.
We've all seen we've all seen the movie Bottoms, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
Okay.
It was so neat seeing basically the 80s movies, but just flipping the genders.
Yeah, and like
so good.
The way it escalates, like I was not expecting that. Like, it's one of my favorite movies.
What movie, Shosh?
Bottoms?
No, I haven't seen this.
Oh man,
but it sounds like I would absolutely love it because
it's so good.
I love gender flipped.
It was clearly made by people who love teen comedies and were like, well, what if we made one without all the racism and sexism?
Yeah.
Or what if we made it with the sexism but flipped the script?
Yeah.
No, not even that.
It's
literally like no sexism.
Honestly, they find fresh ground in all of the old tropes. Like the way they approach the adulation of the quarterback is a masterstroke.
Okay, so I'm looking this up. Bottoms?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
great.
It's just as like vulgar and all the things that people are like, well, it's not a coming of age movie if it's not a little gross. Like, oh, it is gross.
Raunchy.
Oh, it's so
totally.
And Deshaun Marshall.
I am 100% here
so
for
good.
This looks great.
Yeah, great.
And
really good guest stars. Very
so good. I don't normally. This is my first experiment with brush on primer. I normally use sprays.
Yeah. I've never used a brush on primer either.
Yeah. So for this, because I'm building, this is a piece of debris that's going into my whole build. I'm calling dead end drive in, and if you're an 80s kid at all, you know the reference.
I love it. Thank you. I'm bulking up, Mom. I'm bulking up.
I'm literally like, I'm building my iPad into a screen so it can play movies.
Yeah.
And you'll have little fights and basically a settlement that's an old drive-in.
Oh,
I'm building this drive-in that I can take around to conventions. Definitely Gary Con, possibly others, but it's new ground because I have to do things like it has to break down so I can put it in the trunk of a car, and I have to do new techniques like, because I was going to be online with y'all, I can't then take out a spray box and do my priming. So it seemed like for this, also because of all the in cuts, the brush on might be a better choice.
yeah.
I mean, I've huffed on camera on the show before.
Well, I'm guessing you're a fair bit younger and in better health than I am.
He actually blew the house in.
It's true. Those pigs really should have chosen their paths better.
Bunch of little shits, those frickin' pigs.
But they were
thought
delicious.
the bricks would protect them, but the bricks just sealed the gas in.
Yeah. So they were hotboxing?
Yes. And those pigs got high AF.
You threw a smoke bomb.
I'm assuming that you're about 20. So the reference to Green Jello's Three Little Pigs, a music video from like 86, is probably going to be missed on you.
There's no one on this show that is about 20.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I'm being a fatuous over-complimenter.
Yeah, no, that's...
So there is, if you look it up, it's a band called Green Jello.
Well, they're called Green Jelly after the lawsuit.
That's okay. So you know all the lore.
Oh, yeah. Yes. And it's just go straight for anyone who hasn't seen this, just go straight for the official music video because it is claymation.
Yeah, that's what I was referencing. Because if you know the story, the claymation video is super fun.
Wait,
it's really good.
What was the name of the band before they were Green Jelly?
Green Jello.
Yeah, Mr. Jello didn't think that was funny.
Yeah, and that was when you remember who the spokesman for Jello was at the time, right?
I certainly do.
Yeah, I don't think they wanted to mess with like, I'll have them over and here's a nice beverage for you.
Kenan Thompson does such a good impression, and it's kind of wasted now. He's got to put that back in his pocket and keep it.
Yeah.
Oh, man. You know what? I am loving this phrase that Victoria London Fogg. I don't know if you just made up this phrase, but Dawson's casting. I love this. Is this a phrase that other people have heard before?
No, what is it? Is it as in Dawson's Creek?
Yeah. What it is it's casting people who are like over 30 in roles that are like 16, 17.
Oh, yeah. See, I would
love this phrase.
My reference would be 90210 casting.
Yeah, exactly.
As an old.
Mm. Which, I mean...
I love that phrase.
A few people did it better than Not Another Teen Movie.
Yes.
That movie was great.
I
mean, I think was that the original one?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
They were all like in their mid-30s. Oh my.
I mean, like all of the movies back then, you kind of.
Olivia Newton-John was like 8 years older than John Travolta in that movie.
But I've gotten into watching like old cop shows. Like I love Dragnet. And now I'm watching like Adam 12 and
oh my god.
I know, right? But
have you
done
Rockford Files?
Oh no, I haven't done Rockford Files yet.
Make sure, because the people in that are better than they have any right to be.
Okay, I'm gonna check that one out.
Tim Garner. You and Nick would love Rockford Files.
Oh, I gotta check that out. That's one I totally forgot about. Rockford Files.
It's also the source of a lot of things that became tropes in later years. They started with early shows like Rockford Files.
All right. But yeah, you have like a teenager party in Dragnet, and you're like, these kids are all 30.
One of my favorite tropes of all time is when it's an older movie and it's the wacky party scene.
Yes.
But because, like, we've had so much more counterculture expression in the meantime, it's just people sitting around in suits, drinking and talking. It looks like a perfectly normal party.
Yeah.
But it's probably the best is Breakfast at Tiffany's, the only worthwhile scene in that movie with sound. Otherwise, just all the scenes with Audrey Hepburn don't play the sound.
So Breakfast at Tiffany's to me is like you hear the Jaws theme, and then suddenly the yellow face comedic actor jumps out like, da-da!
It doesn't have to be there. It's not even in the original story. Why
Yep.
did they put it in there?
No,
Mickey Rooney. It'd be funny, right?
That's Andy Rooney.
That's nothing. You know what'd be great for this Japanese character? A Chinese accent.
Yeah.
The laziest Chinese accent you ever heard in your life. I once saw, I caught it on YouTube, but there was a fringe show that this actor of Asian descent did as a one-man show of Mickey Rooney preparing for that role.
Oh my God.
Wow.
It's freaking amazing. And like he gets Chinese delivery and he's like, that's it!
Stop
Amazing.
the presses.
It's beautiful. I hope that actor was able to do that at a lot of fringe shows because it is a very good piece.
That's really good.
The best fringe I ever saw was, I forget the duo, the two female comedians, and they did the scene with the bucket in the pit, put the lotion on its skin.
Yep.
Oh,
But the way they did the dialogue was the rhythm of Who's on First. I laughed
That's
so loud,
so
I nearly
smart.
shit my pants. It was amazing.
I gotta say, Malix, it looks like a lot of fun there.
Well, you know, I love terrain because it feels like
Nice.
you're making little worlds. Let's see how we're drying.
That is such a beautiful phrase. You're getting your Huck Finn on.
Yeah, this is so much fun. I love it. You guys should do this too. It's so much fun.
Oh man, I wish I could.
Ooh, those
I'd
posters
do
are
anything to have that much fun.
The
good.
skin
Yeah.
is good. They're working. I love it. Good.
The one of my favorite phrases is "I'll be your Huckleberry."
Oh man! And then
I'm your Huckleberry.
his delivery was so good.
That whole damn performance.
It's one that I also go to, like top 10, go back to it every couple of years, kind of a movie. Yeah. All right. So this.
Going back to Dragnet and Adam 12, it's more in Adam 12 than Dragnet because Adam 12 goes to a lot of parties, but they have the same piece of music when it's a wild party. And it's always like sort of jazzy sitar. And that means if it's like jazzy sitar, that means it's going to be like a hippie party. And if it's sort of like a little slower down Benny Hill music, you know it's going to be like an upper class crazy party.
So that feels coded racist, right? Because the
Little
sitar
bit.
would be like,
Whoa.
Are you doing hookah drugs?
Hollywood tropes coded as racist? I don't
No.
think that's ever happened before.
Well, can we make a list of when it didn't happen? I think that's an easier list. Let's see.
But yeah, I love an old dumb cop show. I don't know why.
Oh, I understand completely because when I was visiting, y'all got me hooked on the hooker.
TJ Hooker.
DJ.
It's a war out there.
It's a war out there on the streets.
I had no idea how dramatic that show was.
Oh,
There's nothing of substance in it, but oh my God, is William Shatner angry about crime?
he's acting so
How
hard.
could you not know it was dramatic when you have the most prolific dramatic actor William Shatner, where phone books are dramatic.
Yeah.
I mean,
Have you all, some of you do improv, right?
He's been known to
Yes.
aim a
So
few props.
have
And
you played Shatner on stage?
no,
So I mean the game Shatner. Like there's the game that's more British, which is super
Yeah.
fun. Somebody directing, just in case anyone's listening doesn't know. You start doing a scene and the director's like, more British, please. And then you go more and more British until it gets crippling and you're entirely talking and like, oh, I said you want. You know, it's wonderful. But you can play that same game as Shatner. So you start the scene and the director will go, more Shatner, please. It's incredibly fun.
That would be a really fun warm-up game.
Yeah.
I feel like we're all familiar with Lecoq's 7 states of energy, right? I feel like that's just a perfect allegory for Shatner's approach, because ultimately you get to stage 7, which is such overwhelming action, you're back in inaction.
Yeah, right. You've gone around the bend. You've cleared the horn.
Yeah. Lecoq had a lot to say about Shatner.
Also,
literally in the pilot episode of TJ Hooker, there's a bit where he's like training new recruits, and he's like, "Head up, hands out. When you're in a fight, you just got to pull out your gun and start shooting. Don't even think about aiming." What?
Yeah, all of his advice is just. Honestly, I think TJ Hooker might have been on the subway a couple of weeks ago.
That kind of sounds like how police are currently trained.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
Well, it's a little prescient. It's a little prescient, I would say.
But Shoshi, I'm an Italian. Tell me there are some Italian stereotypes for me to enjoy in this show.
Romero.
Oh, Romero.
All the ladies.
Having a Swedish or Nordic background is weird because we don't, where's the Nordic character? Until the Swedish chef, not a lot of representation. Although I'm kind of Swedish chefing it right now. Port.
If you,
I knew that face was felt.
If you got, you can probably find it. You can probably find it on YouTube now, but back when DVDs existed, if you got the DVD of The Muppet Show, there were extras. And one of the extras, they talked about how someone wrote a very angry letter into The Muppet Show complaining that the Swedish chef was not actually speaking Swedish, nor any Nordic language that they could discern. So they wrote a letter back and they said, you're absolutely right. We questioned the Swedish chef about it, and he admitted he's not actually Swedish, but he promises he's going to start taking lessons. So keep watching the show because you should see the changes soon.
I hear that and I just imagine the most autistic little person going, that's not, do they not realize?
It's not Swedish.
The language seems to be entirely Bort-based.
Which is pretty close to Swedish.
Well, aren't there African languages where the entirely inflection is more important than words?
I mean, most Asian languages, they're called tonal languages. Right. Yeah.
So you could extend that into the boarding, right? So maybe Bort serves the purpose of like a dozen words?
Except the geography is all wrong. Long vowel based languages tend to develop in warmer regions where the sound will carry without distorting. As you go into
real fact or a made up one?
No, it's a real fact. It's a tendency of languages to adapt to the air quality around them, which is why you get more reliance on consonants as you go into more northernly countries.
You're entirely too well informed to be telling fart jokes.
No, I tell really well informed fart jokes.
So in my mind, that was a conversation that took place between Frank Oz and Jim Henson, where Frank Oz is like, by the way, with the R.E. the Swedish Chef, and Jim was like, come on.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Look, a lot of people really play the fart as coming across the duodenum, but you've got to play it lower. I know there are 4 colons, and you've got to, if you're not hitting the Sigmund colon, you're missing out on some comedy.
So something that happened recently in a game that I know Matt will appreciate particularly is I have an area in my game. It's Mythic Sherwood, so it's a D&D game set in Sherwood, and it's close to the Fae, so it's near the Feywild. And in my Fae, you have normal Fae creatures, mischievous. Here, I should probably not working anything. Then you have the Bright Court, so the traditionally, bright fairies. What are you? I'm Tulip. And then the Shadow Fae, which are goblins and troublesome ones. So they encountered a Shadow Fae brownie who thought it'd be funny to act as an exaggerated version of what he thought the Bright Fae were. So he's making fun of them. So he's like, welcome, adventurers. It's good to meet you, mortals. But he decided that he was Jack, the Prince of Farts. And it took them a long time to figure out that he was just making fun of the other court. And I'm afraid that I've now added that character to the mythology of the game, and that Jack will be coming back.
I love it.
So the time has come. I gotta go get into costume and do Winter's Tale. It was nice to spend time with you. It was so great to see you, Malix, Cubby, Mab. I'll see you all next week. I don't think I have another show next Wednesday, but I'll double check on that because I don't know things that my phone knows.
Yeah, I live there.
That's why you have your phone.
Shit.
That's why I have the phone. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for saying about. So I've made a huge mistake. Guess what I just found out? After I've already taped several of these coasters down.
Oh, no.
You taped them upside down?
No. There's a pretty clear side which gets put down. No. You're going to love this. Guess what I didn't do?
Oh, wait.
Yep.
That might solve your problem, though.
Yep.
That's brilliant.
Yep.
Ah!
But
it's so
I
simple.
already taped it with the tapping and the thing. But so we'll see if that would have worked. But it will not sublimate because I did not pull the little protective coating off.
Oh, no.
So I have to untape everything and yeah.
I know that the dedicated antonym to sublimation is deposition. And I know that because I was at a clown workshop and we were talking about sublimation, and one of us was like, "There's the opposite has to happen sometimes, right?"
Who was
So
talking
one of the
about
clowns.
sublimation?
What?
Who was talking about sublimation?
Oh, the clowns.
Oh, they were just talking about sublimation. Is this a clown term, or is this were they making T-shirts or something?
No, we were just talking about the fact that a solid can go into a gaseous form without spending time in the intervening liquid state.
That is correct.
Just
Sublimation.
casual clown conversation. And somebody was like, "Well, what happens with the opposite? Stuff can freeze that fast, right? There's got to be a word for it." Well, one of the clowns had a husband who's a scientist.
Wow.
And she texted him.
I was like, yeah, on tap right there.
And we derailed that lab for the whole day. We had everyone sitting around trying to remember what the opposite was. And that was maybe the proudest I have ever been as a clown.
Science.
Oh my gosh. Just some guy. I need to see what this Agatha Harkness pendant looks like.
Yes. If only there were an easy and convenient place for you to post some pictures,
There
like
you
on
go.
the Discord.
Discord. Hoot hoot. Honk honk. Rah! That sounded like metal. I was listening to a song the other day and I was like, you know, this song could be made much more metal. Watch this. Rah!
So how long is this show typically?
All day.
Yeah.
We go for the week. We try to make it till about 2 hours. We usually call it quits like 2:30.
I will start another part of the project then. I was so excited. I got dumpsters.
Ooh.
Nice. You bought dumpsters.
I bought tiny dumpsters. Very important for post-apocalyptic drive-in theater.
Yeah. You know, I keep making the joke of I'm bulking up, Ma. I'm bulking up, which was just a total throwaway line in Dead End Drive-In.
Yep.
But I hear it in my head
good.
all the time. Anytime I eat spaghetti, I hear it in my head.
So y'all see that?
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
So that means this is resin cast and they use mold release, which means they need to wash these parts.
Yep.
Victoria London Fog, yes, you absolutely have to share your support your local smut goblin doodle on there. And that, who's making those stickers?
I could make those stickers.
You have a lot on your plate, so I thought I'd throw it up if anyone in the, but
I do commissions. So if you want like a small print run of stickers, you can reach out to me and I can make that happen. By the way, Malix, I don't know if you know this about me. I have lost my job. I lost my job in my perfect, wonderful job that I loved so much. I lost the job at the end of June. So I'm doing dedicating my life to the mobile mercantile, and I am available if anybody needs commissions.
I will do what I can to send things your way, but I have been unemployed for 4 years.
Yep.
Had spinal surgery that cost $250,000.
Yep.
And am also swimming the seas of gig work.
Yep.
And also, Z, we love you too.
Yes, Z is a good friend of Malix. They both live in Austin and they do a lot of game stuff together.
She is they are a most excellent human being I met at Sherwood. Befriended her and Adam, and see them as often as I can because they are wonderful.
Oh shit! You did ask for that. Can you reach out to me with a direct message on
Discord?
Discord, yes. Did I not see it? This week is not a great week for me. I will. What I'm going to do is I will take the commission. I will put it in the queue, and then the queue is going to start up again on next Monday. Oh, Chinkies! I'm so sorry. Was it a DM? Did I not see the DM?
Well, thanks for bringing that to our attention because
yes.
I freaking love that. The succubus mug, that's freaking brilliant.
Gonna happen. Yeah, and I've already got a couple of ideas. Oh no, I don't see a DM from you on on my Discord. Was it Discord? Oh, that's problematic.
I personally just can't wait to see that mug.
Yeah,
because that's going to be freaking awesome.
That is probably so. I gotta say, my website has been freaking glitchy.
Mm.
I'm a little disappointed. I looked into doing Shopify. I also do Square, but like they cost money, and I already, I have like hosting and stuff that I do, but it's getting the website up and running is a full-time gig, right? Like,
Yep.
well, it's not a full-time gig, I'll be honest with you, but it is
The full-time commitment.
it is a thing, and I
worked for a company that used Shopify, and I did tech support.
Mhm.
And boy, I learned to hate them, because when you get into stuff like auto-filling what your taxes are and shipping rates, you might as well become a sorcerer.
Well, Alex, guess who is a sorcerer?
Oh boy, you're a better person than I.
Is it me? I hope it's not me. It's not me, is it?
It's not like a cold.
I'm just saying, if I'm the sorcerer, I have no idea how to source. So we're all in trouble.
That is absolutely correct. No, it should have gotten to me. Let's see here. I was on the website the other day trying to fix it up too.
Do Faye not have good memories? Because I don't. This sounds familiar, but not.
Actually, they don't.
Oh,
They
good.
are so ephemeral.
Then I am a Faye.
You really are.
Did you not know?
I might have known at some point. I mean, I find it very limiting to consider myself pegged down to just what I know at this moment, because it really changes pretty rapidly from moment to moment.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
I am so sorry, Victoria London Fog. I am looking at my site and it's not even showing me. Wait a minute. Nope. Not even seeing the thing.
All right.
Ooh.
So this isn't actually connected to crafting per se, but I was recently browsing through like Bricklink, where you buy Lego bricks, which is, I have no idea how that site actually works, which is probably for the best. I don't need to get into Lego. But I've always been into Lego Technic figures.
Yep.
Because they're the coolest. And on Bricklink, I found out about this dude. Look at this dude.
Oh, that's a Borg.
No, it's an action figure with a cyborg action figure with Run Robot Eye who's dressed in purple, which I didn't realize I have a collection of.
You have a type?
Apparently I do.
And it's a little Skeletor, right? In presentation in color?
Well, purple is a classic villain.
Yeah, but the combination colors you just held up, if you added a Skeletor to that set of figures, I think he'd fit.
But he does not have a robotic eye. So
Not yet. Not yet.
He does not. I'm just saying, because these two guys, I just had as kids. This is a childhood. This is the second release of Dr. Mindbender.
Oh my God, yeah.
Where he got real weird in a very different way. Mad props to Dr. Mindbender, apparently an orthodontist who was just real into mind control on the side.
Was that when G.I. Joe brought in Larry Hama and he like revamped everything?
Larry Hama defined G.I. Joe. There was no G.I. Joe before Larry Hama.
It had a few names, but they were like...
No, he wrote the original cards.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Like, well, it was always Larry Hama.
I'm old, so I had the ones with the beards and the action grip.
Yeah, that was... Sorry, I keep forgetting about
way before the 3.5 figures.
The Action Man.
Yeah. I had a bunch of those. I had the splashdown space capsule thing, which was amazing, and a bunch of the outfits. They were dolls. They were flat out dolls, and I loved them.
Yeah. No, I had a couple of dolls like that as a kid. I loved dressing them up in little military outfits. It was great. I mean, by the time I had G.I. Joes, that style was like relegated to the knockoff market, but I still loved them. I took that guy everywhere.
I think it was longer through Action Man in England. Like
and then they actually ended up spinning off like a knockoff G.I. Joe in the same scale. It's
y'all need to have a conversation with Magnus because his G.I. Joe collection.
This dude's original look. He just showed up with a big mustache, a monocle, a cape, and no shirt.
I'm ready to go. Yeah.
He was like, oh, everyone's weird at Cobra. I better fit in. And then they dropped a big boat on him, and he rebuilt himself in a pit or something. I loved this action figure. And then this dude was the enemy of some gimmicky thing that you could shoot at VHS tapes on your TV.
Yep. What the hell was that called? Yeah, it was terrible. It barely worked.
But I'm just saying, if I see another cyborg dude with a robot eye and a little bit of purple, I know what to do now.
Is that evidence that we're actually in a program and that you're putting them into the world?
No.
Like they're pulled from your subconscious?
No.
I've got a buddy that actually believes that stuff, that we're in a simulation. Yeah.
I know, but like in a simulation, there's nothing that absolutely proves it's a simulation other than like so like it's okay. I think it's hilarious because like every time there's a major discovery, humans are like, oh my God,
are you okay?
Everything is this.
Well, I dropped my world. That was interesting.
Like, I mean, we discover gears and we're like, oh, the whole world is a clock.
Yeah, no, for sure.
We discover computer simulations. The whole, like, I get it. We love to interpret our experience through technologies that we understand.
Oh my God.
So it's working well, except it's not matte. It's glossy, which for some reason it won't focus. Yeah.
Thanks for posting stuff on our Discord, guys. Thank you so much.
So I think if I can get some brush on matte media, I think that'll
matte
look.
Spray is great because it creates additional textures and stuff.
Should look great. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna like, you're thinking about doing a wash anyway, so that'd be a great.
Yeah.
Age it up a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Although it doesn't need much, because honestly, at a distance, because it's so small, if I get too precious with detailing, I will subtract rather than add, right?
Yeah.
Always the danger is you got to watch like your resolution, basically.
the Coco Chanel's advice: look in the mirror and take off one item.
Which I think is friggin' bullshit. Put one more item on. God. Don't be understated. Be overstated. Don't be not enough. Be too much. Take up space.
So not Coco Bjork.
Coco Chanel did not understand maximalism.
I love maximalism. I live for maximalism. Ooh.
Well, the brush-on primer is working great.
Oh, thank you, Just Some Guy. It was Action Force.
You guys are going to be... Magnus is going to be so mad he has missed this aspect of the conversation. I kind of want to go with my cell phone and show you some of the crazy... And I don't mean crazy in a mean way. I mean crazy impressive.
Oh yeah. No, I would love to see this collection.
I'll be right back.
And it looks like we've got some great pics posted on the Discord. Some pics, some doodles, and nice.
Okay. Fun. Primed.
Oh, it's not maximalism. It's mabismalism.
Yeah, that's hard to pronounce.
It is, and I kind of need a running start on all new words.
Fair. You should be alerted in advance.
I should.
The only polite way to deal with things like that.
But that's just not the world we live in.
Sadly, no. We're not headed that direction either. All right.
Same, Just Some Guy. Well, mostly G.I. Joes, but with a couple of Kenner Star Wars, like, just mixed in. You just, like, you know, you're in the middle of a battle and a Jedi shows up.
As one does.
I will die, however I dang well please Just Some Guy. No, that's probably good advice.
This is Vallejo Primer. I am recently experimenting with the Vallejo line.
Oh.
Let you know how that works out. Yeah, I was asking people what they thought of various paint lines, and Vallejo is currently low cost. Like, they're a good low cost alternative, and so far the results have been good.
Is that like connected to Boris?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
excellent.
He helped approve and formulate.
Nice.
He's one of those artists that, like, back in the day would, like, well, I grow my own plants for the very specific blue, and I crush them into my oils. Like, he's somebody, or Kubrick making his own lenses.
Yeah, I've met him and Julie Bell. I sat next to them at 2 weddings now.
And what was your read? Like, he seems a very intense man.
Well, okay, so I know one of Julie's sons.
Okay.
So I've only seen him surrounded by people that, like, already know him.
Okay.
So
would be more relaxed, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, he was on the quiet side. He a little bit more kept to himself. Julie did most of the talking.
I love the, I mean, I don't share this, obviously, although you're only seeing my hands and face, so you don't know that I am actually, I'm allowed this season to say I'm getting in shape to play Santa. Is that a good way to say that I'm fat?
It's nothing. There's nothing wrong with a good beard and a stout body.
But I do like the fact that as artists, both he and Miss Bell went, well, we will be what we wish to paint and memorialize. They both just became physical works of art and started painting each other.
Yeah.
That's a level of a commitment that, honestly, I do not.
I'll be right back.
right.
And through knowing Dave is the reason I'm on a magic card.
Oh, excellent. Which one?
The Apprenticed Alchemist.
So I know a lot of the original magic artists that are not.
Oh, wait, actually, I've got it on my wall over here.
I knew them through FASA. So I know a bunch of those guys. Jim Nelson and Jeff Lobenstein are very good friends of mine.
Yeah, I only know Dave Palumbo.
Who I do not know.
But look at that, it's me!
That's super awesome. Okay. I think I may abandon you for a minute because I need to wash my brush and get some water for the next step. So with Mab gone, I think the floor is yours, sir. I won't be long. I just need to grab that water, but be back in a minute.
Oh, you'll be long. You'll be long. Oh, hi, Mab.
Oh, hi there.
I wasn't
thought I'd keep you in check because I understand that you were gonna get drunk with power or something, and I know you got to drive, so I didn't want you drunk and driving with power.
Well, to be fair, have you ever tried getting drunk without power?
I mean, yes, all the time.
Nobody listens to you.
Oh, yeah. It's better with. Oh, sorry. I will be doing a G.I. Joe tour, but today is not a good day.
That is fair. It does sound like this kind of thing that needs a little bit preparation. But I am excited that at one point we are going to see.
Oh, yeah. Aw, poor Cubby.
Yeah, you were gone, so I started bragging about being on a magic card.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that song before.
Yeah.
Look,
I haven't done a lot with my life.
Say, is that the magic card right behind you, sir?
Yeah, actually, as a matter of fact, it is right here.
How many copies of that magic card? Oh, hey, I know that guy. Oh my gosh. Do the eyes light up?
Okay, so here's the thing. I found one at a shop.
Uh-huh.
And I bought it, but then I was bored and I was looking online, and it's not a particularly rare card, so it's real easy to get. So I got a foil version.
Perfect. So what does your card do?
And then the one that's still taped is it's the foil version, but it's in Asian. I forget which language specifically, but I'm like, oh, cool! It's me, but I can't read it. Creature, human wizard, sacrifice alchemist's apprentice, draw a card. Side effects may include foul odors, scalding steam, and spontaneous non-existence. So, to be fair to my friend, they don't give the artists the flavor text that's going to appear on the wall. So, he did not realize it would say that I smell bad. But to be fair to Magic the Gathering, I have been told there's an odor.
How did they know?
Well, because of all of the wizards on staff.
That checks. That's fair.
Yeah. They probably scried into an orb.
Yeah, see, that's a little racist.
It's not racist if it's true.
All right, fair. Oh, what's this? I'll allow it.
File under Cubby's the worst.
I may have to come back on the regular. This is forcing me to get some of the shit done that I needed to find time to get done.
That's why we're here.
Yeah. Worthy.
To get you to finish your projects. And honestly, we've really been spinning our wheels the last couple of years.
What, in finishing our projects?
No, in Malik's finishing his projects.
Oh, yeah.
We
sorry
founded
about
this whole
that.
show, and then I think we never told you.
Yeah.
20-year-old me who had some serious ego issues might have been like, oh, wow, that must have been rough for you. 50-year-old me thinks you're hilarious. Let's see.
Are you saying 20-year-old you had a big old ego? Is that what I'm reading?
20-year-old me was an asshole.
Oh, wow.
He was well-intentioned, but he was very impressed with how intelligent he was.
Oh, wow.
He was all about showing off and had not learned that things like living with gratitude is so incredibly important, and did not develop the empathy required to become a man and a properly fully blooded wizard.
Wow. That's some self-awareness.
Well,
Okay.
20, 30 years and a bunch of therapy will do that for you. Well, it hopefully will do that for you.
Yeah.
If you do it right. Not to add a judgment into therapy.
I also, for a while, I worked for a group. I always forget what it's called. A group of therapists. It's not an enterprise. It's not a murder. It's a group of therapists. It's a practice. A collective. Yeah. I ran tabletop games for kids in the spectrum, which was super rewarding work. And I, as a result, have a whole lot of therapist friends. So in addition to the therapists that I employed, I have a lot of friends that are like, okay, dude, feedback. Like, okay, good.
That's such a change of pace too, to have role players on the spectrum.
So it's different when they're kids, right?
No, I'm just well, I fully support that, but also they were gonna find that.
Yeah, so okay, this is a whole thing, and I'm actually writing a one-man show about this, but that was not an easy and obvious transition for many people. Here, I'll give you my face for this. So, back in the battle days where there was one female presenting player in every group, if that, there was maybe, and this is not everywhere, but most places, there was maybe one person of color in your extended gamer friend group. So very different, because right now I'm told the last check they did, it was over 50% female presenting, and the numbers of people of color are rising rapidly, which is super fucking great. But the things that are now obvious, which are, this will attract people on the spectrum, this will attract the Rainbow Mafia in vast numbers. It was not always like that, and they did not feel welcome because the subject matter would attract, but the culture was bros that were gatekeeping and were not as affectionate as they should have been towards our other outcast cousins, because they also were people who were having trouble finding their groups, and we should have been like, there's room at the table for you. Sit on down. Let me help you with the character. And we've only recently discovered that. I
was told that I couldn't play D&D when I was young because I was a girl. And do you want to know what I did?
Did you play D&D?
We wrote our own game that was basically D&D, but for girls.
Oh, Mab, did you keep that? Will you run a campaign? I want to play this. I want to play this on channel.
So it's weird for me because I'm a cishet dude that looks like he could have been a senator in a previous life. So I know that my job at certain points to shut the fuck up because it's not my business. But the game that I ran for Nat 21 was about a bunch of teenage girls in a Conan Harborian style world. They spent a lot of time being women and kind of like they called them chads, when a big muscular dude would come in, mansplain things, and offer to beat up the monster, they would laugh at him, and then they'd resolve the problem in a way that was not at all what you'd expect from Conan or from like the gamers in the early 80s. And Mab was in some of those early games, and it was delightful because the players really gave that idea a big hug, and there was, a lot of, I think, feminine energy. And again, my job was, because I can't help but be male, I would set the stage and then step the hell back and then let them play. So it felt a lot like that because it was their playground.
I specifically want to see what like young teenage Mab centered on a role-playing game, because I have no doubt that it is gonna be one of the best role-playing games ever.
It was called Malls and Mayhem instead of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
Sweet.
And the character that I played was not a druid, but I don't think she had she just had the character name. She was Angela of the Animals. And she could talk to animals and have animal friends, and they all came helping her out and did things with her. And another person was like the rogue character. I mean, it was a 1-to-1 parallel. We just changed words. And it wasn't AD&D, it was just Redbox D&D.
That's although I will ask again, did you keep this? Do you have the notes?
There's no way it survived 6 moves, 7 moves, 8 moves.
That's very fair. If you ever want to recreate this, I'm just saying I'm so in as a player.
And we literally ran around in a mall. I remember making a mall map with a big fountain in the middle, the stores.
Awesome.
I used graph paper because that's what I saw them use for, like, they wouldn't, I mean, I would watch them play because I was not allowed to play.
Yeah, gross.
And then we would recreate what we saw, but different.
I think this has a lot of potential. It would require a lot of work for you, but also I would really love it if I joined and every time I had an idea, like you and Shoshi and Mayhemmer just yelled at me to shut up because I'm a stupid boy. Like, I will be there just to be yelled at for being a stupid boy.
You're adorable. Just some guy. We used, I used my stuffed animals. I used my stuffed animals. I had a little weird dog, but like the dog was always sitting like this, like sitting, and like, so the arms were just like little things here and little thing there, and the back feet was this one big stuffing thing, and he couldn't walk, and it was like kind of an upright dog, and it was like had orange fur that was like super matted because I loved this little dog, and it was like this big, and that was like her main friend.
I think I tried to do upright dog once. Took 3 people to get me to stand up straight again.
You guys are so sweet. It was I didn't realize, I mean, this was the 70s. Yeah, it was the 70s. I didn't realize how subversive it was, how much of a statement that little baby Mab was making at the time. I had 2 brothers and 3 sisters. They're still alive. And the brothers were very...
No one can prove different.
Yeah. So like, yeah, that was the way of things. And we were kind of left to our own devices. Like I said, we used stuffed animals. That was the word.
So you did not need minis at the time, but for this upcoming campaign, it's I would say just some guy, maybe.
All right. I will write this game after this vending this weekend. I'll get hopping on that.
Well, it's very easy for me to commit you to this project. So, if and I realize you have a few things going on.
And here's the other thing. Now that I'm thinking about it, because you guys are making me think about it, it was more story driven. It was very rules light and more story driven.
That's hot right now.
Which is really hot right now, which is what blew, which is why my brothers were like, you're not playing it right. And we're like, we're not playing your game. So we're playing our game right, which is the thing that I didn't realize I would be saying again and again in my life. You're not doing it right. I'm not doing your thing right. I am doing my thing right. You don't know what I'm doing. Oh my God, I have said that so many times. Oh, jeez.
So this is not entirely on topic, but as I'm doing this, my youngest daughter has these beautiful slender fingers. And I'm like, I've got these Shrek-like meat hooks. Minor story. I studied to be a magician for a while. And the kind of magic I want to do, everybody said, you should do mentalism because you are a creepy edgelord. Be a mentalist. I didn't want to do mentalism. I wanted magic that looked like magic. Like I could show you the trick and you couldn't repeat it, right? So I did like things like card conjuration because that shit looks like magic. And I can show you exactly how to back palm. And if you haven't studied it for about 2 years, you can't do it. So it looks like I'm conjuring cards. And there's a thing in The Simpsons where early on, while it was still good, Lisa is going to become a professional saxophone player. And she's crushed when someone tells her that she has stubbyitis. And she can't do that because her fingers are too small. That happened to me. I went Magic Castle, I think. And one of the golden wand or whatever, like the year's best magician was performing. And I talked to him about magic, and he got a look at me and he asked to look at my hands. And I told him, I asked for advice on card conjuration and back palming. So back palming is you hide a card back here and then you do a gesture and you can bring it forward, which looks like you've conjured out of nowhere. The problem is if you look at the symmetry of my hand, a card can't sit back there. My fingers aren't long enough. So he took one look at my hand and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, kid. You can't do that kind of magic. Have you considered doing seances?
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's either an insult or a compliment if he really thinks you can crack your foot knuckle.
Right. And well, here's the thing. I have been to a seance that was done at last year's D&D Destination D&D in New Orleans. It was run by Stuart from Judas. It's run by Judas from Judas and Magnolia.
He's great.
And it was the best seance because I've been to a few. It was the best seance I've ever been to. And he was like, really? You mean that? And I'm like, dude, it was flawless.
He's a buddy of mine. He's really good. And I did for a while look into being some form of charlatan. And my heart just isn't like I kind of worship the amazing Randy. Definitely was all about I couldn't forget his name anyway. But the whole thing was I wanted the attraction to magic for me was the appeal to wonder. And the kind of wonder of a conjuration is very different. The appeal to wonder that has like the horror tinge of seances, mentalism, and that kind of work. And it just wasn't my thing. Stuart does so good with it. But that
it was
going why I got out of magic.
You know who's got almost the same story as you?
Yeah.
About magic? Jason Alexander.
Um,
Well,
A
he became
competition-winning magician, but his hands were too stubby.
Oh,
So-
that's interesting.
Yeah.
I knew he was a magician. I didn't know that, and so that's why he got out.
That's the rumor I heard from my magician friends.
I gotta say, though, I just want to get this out there. As a sideshow performer, we judge magicians.
Well, it's not their fault. It's magicians, jugglers, and musicians need to spend so much time alone that they then have a little bit of trouble with the patter.
So I gotta say, we were at the sideshow gathering, and it's like sideshow folk left and right, carnies everywhere you looked, and sometimes there's some crossover between magic and sideshow. So we had some people who did magic, and this guy, we're all sitting there after like the next morning, we're like cutting up jackpots, and we're all just sitting there, and this guy walks up and he goes, "Would you like to see a magic trick?" And all of us just like
Jesus, no.
deadpan stared, and I was like, "Are you fucking real?" And we all kind of like looked at each. No one's gonna be impressed by your goddamn magic trick.
I am. You could have shown him this magic trick. I know the perfect magic trick for that moment. Let me see if I can do it. No, I can't do it on camera because I don't know how Twitch feels about that. So let's not.
I will say, he went and did it anyways.
Oh yeah, of course. No, nobody says, "Do you want to see a magic trick?" and is prepared to not show you a magic trick.
So I at Sherwood Forest, that's where my wandering wizard character comes from, and mostly I did the aisles for a while, did the lanes, but I also run D&D and stuff. But I've been thinking, I don't know, partially because I think I might not want to be associated with D&D anymore.
Fair enough.
Yeah, thinking about maybe doing something else next year. And I talked to Stuart about it. And I if I was to develop an act,
GURPS,
something that I might want to take around. No. Do you know who the Amazing Valentine is?
It sounds familiar. Why do I know that?
So he's a dude that his bit was, and he was like a Carson era performer. He would do tricks, but he'd do them wrong, or he'd go. Yep. The neat thing about him was he'd still do the trick a different way.
Yep.
So he'd look like a boob, but it was still an interesting, fun performance.
Yeah, Swami Omami has a bit like that, where he does the pain-proof thumb.
Yeah.
And talks about how you use the carrot, and then he's like got the carrot in his hand and his thumb is bleeding, where he stuck the needles in his thumb, and he's like, and yeah, the whole time I was using the carrot.
Oh.
So the idea was combine that with a puppet that's a familiar who thinks that, so play up the age and be bumbling like, oh, you got this right in practice, and the puppet is a snarky like, you weren't going to get this right, and basically give myself shit for the tricks I'm doing wrong that I'm actually doing right, which seems like it's not what Matt's talking about. It's not, I don't care that you're not done with your meal. Let me show you. Pick a card. Like, I don't want to be that guy under any circumstances. But I think a theatrical presentation with a hook to it might be just the thing.
Yeah, but and this is crucial.
Yeah.
You didn't walk up to people and say, "Do you want to see a magic trick?"
God no.
No, it's specifically, I was saying that about that phrase. Like,
yeah.
Nobody is saying that is prepared for a no. Not really. If you ask them, you're like, are you prepared for a no? They'll be like, yeah, sure, of course I am. Okay, no. Here's the trick.
Are you willing to put up with me and humor me for 5 to 20 minutes?
Ah, no. Oh my God, no.
I'm so envious of my daughter's slender fingers. Just putting these tiny things. I should just use tweezers, but.
Shoshi and Kim have some great stories about going around Penzik and, offering to tell a story at a fire and everyone going, no! And then they'll be like, oh, no, don't worry. We know what we're doing.
Tiny.
Right? It makes all the difference.
Yeah,
it's the difference. Like, you can do the trick. People can be technical all day long, but it's like, God, please make me fucking care.
Yeah. Yes.
Please make me care. Because I have a wicked case of apathy. Okay, can we talk about last night? I gotta talk about last night.
Tell me about last night, because I think I can't remember when I went to bed last night. I had messages from like 9 p.m., so I know I walked away from my computer. I have a thing I'm working in my head, so I keep standing up and staring off into space, and I am time blind, so I have no idea how long I'm spending doing this, but I did that for a while, and then I just called it a day.
I've been disassociating, and I'm like, how much time passed?
That's
no bueno.
Nobody knows. I mean, that's what's great about disassociating. So I've lost a month to it, baby.
So last night, so the crux for the people that, well, mostly Malix, who's not caught up, is we're going on a hunt to find things to help Varus, aka Jacques the Whipper's character, who's turned evil. The problem is Loon Dirt Liquor, who is now all liquor, she will lick anything, not just dirt, is apathetic or just true neutral. So she DGAF about pretty much anything. She's like, man, I'm just, I'm here for the ride, okay? Because this is a crazy ride. And also because Varus is out to murder Loon. So the situation is we came across a mandrake farm with all these little baby mandrakes.
Horrifying. I love it. Reminds me of this store I was once in.
And then there was a factory smelting, and immediately we decided to steal one of the baby mandrakes because we needed it for an ingredient.
Yeah. So you steal it.
We stole the baby mandrake, and we stole the baby. Meanwhile, we're doing these atrocious war crime style acts. And Jack the Whipper is in the chat going, and I'm the bad guy? And I was like, your binary view of good and bad really is like harshing my mellow, man. You and your oppressive, good, bad, whatever.
It's actually a lot of fun if you're playing with somebody who is in a very video game mode where they're like, people come up, I kill them. I don't think about it. And the moment you get any context, you're like, wait a minute, what's your alignment again? Because you're kind of talking about a pogrom here, and technically.
Here's the thing. Like, I'm trying to give the great, who's supposed to not be a bad guy, who's supposed to be driving this chain of being a good guy. And I'm trying to get them to be like, no, don't commit genocide. I was like, I could absolutely.
Yeah, stuff I didn't think I'd ever have to say out loud.
I didn't say it out loud.
You know, I remember a time in my life, even just a couple of short years ago, when it seemed like genocide was a no-brainer morally.
Right?
And yet... ...
Chocolate brown. All right, fine.
Yeah.
It's... So, I probably the most fun I had in that was a little character called Nippy.
Fucking Nippy.
Who was technically the voice of reason.
Yes, with the murder hobos.
I didn't want to be the voice. I wanted to be the wild card. But everyone was like, I would be wild card, and they'd be like, yep, sounds good. I'm like, no! You're supposed to be holding me back!
That's exactly. I was like, okay, well, this castle's made of sugar, and Varus sent a bunch of bees to attack us. How about I just give him this whole castle as a bribe? We just killed everybody in the castle.
Yeah, that's something it feels like you expect there's going to be a little bit of pushback on.
There was not. There should have been pushback. And yeah, Sally, the expression the whole time was like, okay, look, this is where you would tell me this is, I should, like, you know, I'm just saying. And they were like, yeah, no, let's do it. I was like, we needed Kitty. Kitty was out last night, and she plays a paladin that kind of, sort of keeps us in check. But
yeah, until her recent discovery of how great pixie dust is.
You heard about that, huh?
I'm a little worried about this whole party right now. Like, their souls. Although, I kind of really want to do a campaign where I'm a chaotic evil character. And secretly, my goal is to turn the alignments of other party members.
Yeah,
through a slow moral attrition.
No, it will be a freaking light switch like the very first moment you say anything. It's going to be really easy. And that's how genocide happens every friggin' time.
It would be really funny if it was like, by the way, you guys chose wrong. You all have to change your alignments now. This was
we don't do alignments anymore.
Yeah, I don't use them either.
I use them like as a player to kind of like guide me. Like, I know that Loon is true neutral. So like she's got this apathy problem, which now that I'm like saying this and thinking about it, it's turning into more of an evil sort of thing.
So I have a subsystem I call motivations, where every character has basically two things that drive them, which I find a lot more useful as far as guiding the character and knowing where the character is headed. Then alignment is so coarse that I don't know, like most PCs are good chaotic, right? So how helpful is that really?
Oh, that's hilarious. Just some guy. Did you get like the big plastic ones? Because
those
when I
are
ran
so
the Goblin
big.
Embassy, we used those big giant plastic pixie sticks as prizes, which made me the absolute worst / best booth at the New York Fairy Festival. Giving a kid a pixie stick thing that's almost as big as they are. The parents friggin' liked me.
Well, that reminds me of a sign I once saw at a Ren fair, which is unattended children will be given an espresso and a puppy.
Yeah.
That's exactly where that came from. That was my motivation. Yeah, that is an accurate statement.
Well, technically, it would work too well.
Mm. All right. So we're coming up on the 2-hour mark.
Pew, 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 pew.
That was not a nice sound effect.
What?
No.
Should I try to be louder?
Were you throat singing?
No.
No.
Okay, that's better. Actually, pretty good. So yeah.
And that's not even the sound I make that I've never heard anyone else make.
I've heard other people make that sound.
What?
I went to a Tuvian throat singing concert in the woods. It was beautiful.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Have you ever listened to The Who?
The Who?
The Who. Not The Who. The Who. H-U.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah.
They're a heavy metal band with throat singers.
They were virally popular for a while there.
Yes, they were.
It was who was this group? It was Kyrgyzstan, and I actually have their CD. And it was at a place called Spirit Haven in the woods outside of Floyd, Virginia. And it's a video that I have, one of my oldest videos, and it's got so many views. And I took it with an old digital camera, and you could hear the peacocks crying in the background. And it was night in a tent with lights, and it was so beautiful, and you couldn't see anything in the video, but you could kind of see the lights and a little bit of movement.
And just a little bit of...
But they were playing music, so it was like a camping event. It was a camping event on a farm where they raise goats and shit. And the people who own the farm are also import merchants. They sell like rugs and textiles from Turkey and India and a bunch of different other locations. So they had the connection, and these guys wanted to tour. Kyrgyzstan wanted to tour the U.S. And so these guys helped the Scott and Kay, who owned the farm and the business, helped get them over to the U.S., where they toured the U.S. for a short period of time. But they stayed there at the farm for the first night or middle of their tour. I actually went and saw them in New York a couple days later.
Nice.
It was like a big fancy show in New York, but it was awesome.
All gone horribly right.
Yes. That is our show. Okay, I gotta go. I gotta take this.
Oh. Bye, ma'am.
Then there were two.
Oh, sure. Just show off that you can count, Malix.
I mean, I'm a product of the public school system. I can get to two.
No, I'm just kidding. I can beat that. I know all the numbers. 1, 2, and 3.
I can only count to 4. I can only count to 4.
I'm sorry, to what?
It's a song. There's somebody that did a metal cover with Muppet-looking creatures, and they sing, I can only count to 4.
Yeah, but they should have chosen a number.
Over my head, man.
Oh, what I just said is I knew all of the numbers, 1, 2, and 3.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's
4 is what they call the front part of a boat, I believe. That's nautical talk.
There was a Mr. Showbit, I think, where a mob boss decides there's no number higher than 20, and it's then the hilarity of his henchmen accidentally using higher numbers.
Higher than what?
I think it was like 20. Like, he gets tired.
What?
Yeah.
What a weird word.
I'm gonna need to stop soon because I turned off all my fans so that the sound of the fans wouldn't destroy the recording.
Oh,
Well,
hi there.
we're all gonna stop soon because it's almost 2:30.
Yeah, so it's time to go. But that was a weird phone call. So, but I'm back, and I wanted to say proper goodbye.
No, I'm sorry that wasn't a more time-consuming phone call. It looked.
Yeah, well, the connection was not a great connection, so I said send me an email. So we'll see how that goes. It was like one of those phone calls where everything was an echo, like you could hear it, and then it was like, and then I would like to say, and then I would like to say, I was gonna, and I'm like, dude, I feel so bad. I really want to have this conversation.
Yeah, that is a
call me back or
nightmare.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. I got a fair amount of work done.
Yay! Go team!
Faced with two funny-ass things, there are three things. Yeah. Well, that
Thanks
sounds like
so much. Sorry. Is there an echo?
No, I was gonna say something to cover up me looking for like the
meaning
videos we play at the end.
All right, so I'll do the thing. So
yeah,
I'd like to say thank you to Malix's beard for joining us today.
Yes, and thank you for bringing Malix with you, Beard.
And hope you decide to come back and join us as we ramble on about things. I noticed that when we have more of people here, we do less trivia.
Well, the trivia kills time real good.
Yeah, it does.
So if we're having good conversation, but if you come again, there might be some trivia, Malix.
And dice talk. Cubby collects really awesome dice, so
it's true. Also boring dice, but I try not to show those off as often.
I collect D12s and only D12s.
Nice. I love a good dodecahedron. It's maybe the most satisfying of the platonic solids.
Well said. It is the prince of dice.
Yeah, like, I mean, the icosahedron gets a lot of love, and rightly so. But there is something about those pentagonal faces.
You made it sound kind of sexy.
I make a lot of things kind of sex. Everything except for sex, honestly. That I've been told I make sound very unappealing. Very unappealing.
Oh, there are four things. There are romantic solids.
All right,
the
friends,
romantic.
I am out. I have to get some lunch.
I know.
Oh, lunch sounds like a good plan. I'm gonna do that too. Bye, everyone.
Crafting, crafting, crafting with Joshi and Cubby. What will we make today? What is the dice of the day? Crafting, creating, collaborating. What would an octopus say? Trivia questions, hooray! Creating, clickbaiting, can't hardly waiting for the crafting show. A crafting show with Cubby and Shoshi.
And Mab, and also Malix. Okay. Real quick though, I know the show's over, but we're all familiar with the book Flatland, right? Early speculative science fiction. Count Moriarty in the world of erotic solids.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that is a pitch to you, Victoria London Fog.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're still here. Yep.
Yeah. So I assume we're all in. Good.
Thank you.
Oh, here's the outro.